Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the training kitchen here in Donington, where today we are going to cook up a storm of sensation for your taste buds. We're going to do a chili sweet potato and bean stew with the most beautiful, fluffy cheddar cheese dumplings you're ever going to taste. This dish is fantastic. It hits you with the proteins from the beans, the carbs from the potatoes, all your vital nutrients and minerals coming from the veg that we're going to pair it with. And do you know what? It's done with so many store cupboard essentials. Take a look down at the board and we'll see what we've got. So we've got a chopped up clove of garlic, a chopped up onion, some grated cheese, that's going in our dumplings, a couple of large sweet potatoes, and then the store cupboard. A couple of tins of beans, any beans will do. I think I've got cannellini beans and butter beans, but you can use red kidney beans, black beans, any bean will do. A tin of chopped tomatoes, and then some chilli sauce. Now, whether you use chilli paste, chilli sauce, it's up to you, and go with the spice level that you like. So let's crack on and get cooking. First of all, in a big wok or a frying pan, or if you've got a casserole dish which is oven safe, just get some oil in there. Get it heated through, not hot, just on a medium heat. Don't need the top in there. Just on a medium heat. Big glug of oil. Let that get warm, and then we're going to add to that our onion. We're going to cook our onion quite low and quite slow. We want it to go brown but not burn. So that's why we're going to do it low and slow. You know when your oil is going to be hot enough because it will start to run around the pan really quickly. So at the moment, that's still quite, it's a fast walk, but it's not running. So just give that another 30 seconds just to get hot. When our onion goes in, we don't want it to fizz and spit everywhere. We just want a gentle sizzle. And as soon as that goes in, we start this cooking process. Guys, I'll tell you, this is going to be a real treat on those taste buds. So, onion. One standard size onion, diced up. In it goes. We get a sizzle, not a fizz. Get all of that in there. Just mix it around. Now, the reason we mix it around, I want all of the onion to be coated in oil, so it all cooks. Now, this is going to need to cook for sort of 5, possibly 6 minutes, okay? Just until it goes translucent and starts to change colour. Now, when I said over a medium heat, my hob goes up to 9. This is on 7, 7.5. If you're using gas, get it to the maximum, just twist it down just a little bit. We're just going to keep that moving around. It's quite an easy dish to bring together. Uses some store cupboard essentials, things that you can buy that can stay in that store cupboard. You can use them within the next 2-3 years because they're tin products. And the only fresh that we're marrying to it is the onion, the garlic, the sweet potato. Super simple, easy to do, full of flavour, full of taste, full of nutrition. So we're just going to let that go for a minute. When that starts to change colour, we're just going to go in with the garlic. We're just going to give the garlic then just a couple of minutes because the garlic will cook quite quickly. Then we're going to go in with our tomato, our beans, and everything else. Okay, so our onion's been cooking for about 5 to 8 minutes. It's gone translucent, it's gone soft. It's going to start to go brown really quickly. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going in with my garlic. So if we eyes back down, that clove of chopped garlic is going to go in. Now all we want to do is cook this garlic until it becomes aromatic. So that means we can smell it. So as soon as we can smell that garlic coming through, we go in with our next ingredients. And our next ingredients that I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go in with my sweet potato. Get all that flavour coating my sweet potato. Diced up, just a couple of standard size sweet potatoes, diced up. Cover them all with it. Okay? This is important. You want all that flavour that's come out of that onion and that garlic into that oil, you want that to get all the way through your dish. So that's why when we first put an ingredient in, we give it a good stir. Okay, good stir, knock it all down. Now, you can make this dish in several different ways, but because here at UKHarvest we don't do food waste, we use everything that we can. My beans, I'm not going to drain my beans. My beans are going to go straight in. That liquid that those beans are in is going to thicken this sauce up, but it's also going to bring all of the protein that's escaped from those beans into our dish. So, beans and their juice. That's one. So that's my cannellini and my big fat butter beans have gone in there as well. Then I'm going to add my tin of chopped tomatoes. And then for the spice, okay? Now, I've got quite hot chili sauce. If you've got chili paste, whichever, I'm going to add it about 3.5 tablespoons of this. And the reason I'm going to do 3.5 tablespoons is because I really like my spice, all right? So, give it a good squidge. If you want to go for a smokier sauce, feel free, use a barbecue sauce even if you wanted to. There we go, that's going to do me proud. Now I want that bit too, so I'm just going to give that a little bit of a wash off. Then, really important, stir, stir, stir. We need to bring this dish together. Okay, if you wanted to at this stage, if you had some tomato puree, for example, that you had left in the cupboard, you want to use it, get it out of the way, you can put a squidge of tomato puree in. If you like it slightly sweeter, go with a tomato ketchup, because that's generally got a sweeter taste. Bring all of that round, and then what we're going to do, we're just going to bring it up to the boil, and then turn the temperature back down again so it can just simmer. And we want it to simmer for about 25 minutes, so that that sauce reduces, so the wetness goes and the sauce reduces, our beans cook through, our potatoes are really soft, and then that can go into our casserole to go into the oven. So as soon as that gives us that racing bubble, that's when we're going to turn it down. So rather than watching a pot which never boils, so that's why we've turned that camera off for a minute, because that pot would never boil, we're just going to get that up, racing boil, bring the temperature down, leave it, if you can cover it, and then just simmer it for about 25 minutes. Make sure everything in there's cooked. Because then when we go into the casserole to go into the oven, all that we're trying to do then is just cook the dumplings through so that they can absorb some of that moisture, get steamed off of some of what's left, and go nice and light and fluffy. That's what it's all about. So if we go eyes back down again, we can see the bubbles are starting to come. I'm going to look to see if I've got a lid that will fit that one, but I'm not sure that I have because it's a big wok. So if you don't have a lid, if you want to wrap the top with foil, you can do, just go carefully with your hands because obviously the wok's going to be hot. Give that a good mix. You don't want your beans sticking to the bottom of the pan. But this is going to be so full of flavour. You get the sweetness and the softness from the potato, the protein and bulk from those beans, and the sauce is going to really, really tickle all of those taste buds. So let's just get that bubbling up nicely. We can leave that then to bubble. And whilst that's bubbling, we're going to make up our dumplings. So just get that up. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way so that we've got space to make our dumplings. Okay, so that's bubbling away really nicely now. Just going to give it another 30 seconds before I turn that temperature down so it can just sit there and simmer. In that time, I'm going to bring into play my flour. So 125 grams of self-raising flour I've got. I've got 70 grams of grated cheddar cheese. If you want to do a veggie or vegan alternative, you can do. This does work with vegan cheese. It does work with margarine rather than butter. Okay, so if you did want to make a vegan option, you can. My pan is bubbling away. I'm just going to bring the temperature back down on that. And I'm going to leave that to go for 25 minutes. I'm going to get my dumplings made, and then I might have a cup of tea. So, into my flour, I'm going to add my butter. Try and break it up if you can as you put it in. You are going to get messy, folks, but it's worth it. And then what I'm going to do is just with my fingers, just squeeze the butter and the flour together. Okay? And what I want to do is I want to create breadcrumbs, basically, little breadcrumbs. So just squeeze that butter together through the flour, As I say, it does get messy to start off with, but I tell you what, the dumplings are well worth it in the end. And then when we get to that stage, we're going to mix, when we get breadcrumbs, we're going to mix our cheese through it, add a little touch of water, bring it all together as balls so that they can go straight into the top of our stew. So that when we bake it off, these will puff up nicely and give us a really, really nice soak up for our dinner. And you can't have stew without dumplings. Well, that's what I say anyway. So keep going, rub it all together until you get to fine, fine breadcrumbs. The more air you put into it by lifting it slightly, the puffier your dumplings should come. Make sure it's self-raising flour. If you've only got plain flour, add a little bit of bicarb or baking powder just to give it the puff. And you don't want big bits and clods of butter or margarine in there. So really fine breadcrumbs is what we're looking for. And as you can see, it was messy to start off with, but as the mix dries out, more and more of it comes off of your fingers because it all gets put together, combines nicely. And you get a nice mix of dry breadcrumb. Now, so at this stage, if you were making a crumble, you'd add your sugar. But as we're making some nice, they're not sweet, but nice dumplings, they're sweet in that man, but not sweet as in taste. I've got my breadcrumbs. Just try and show you my breadcrumbs. So nice and fine, a little bit like puffed up cooked couscous is what you're looking for on your breadcrumbs. And then we're going to add into that our grated cheese. We're going to mix that through so that we've got a nice even amount of cheese. And then just to bind it all together, we're going to need 2 or 3, probably maybe 4 tablespoons of just cold water. Now the easiest and quickest way to do that, because you don't want it to get too wet, is grab a bowl, grab yourself some cold water, bring that back to your workstation, make sure you've got a clean tablespoon. Just give that one a rinse from where we used it earlier. And all we're going to do is we're going to add our water slowly. Now it's going to need at least 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to go in with the 2 tablespoons to start off with. And I'm going to use a metal spoon to start to bring my dough together. So now we're taking it from that really nice powdery dry breadcrumb to make a dough so it's getting wetter as we go. We don't want it too wet, that's why we go slowly with our water. Okay, if you see any lumps of flour at this stage, it's a good thing with the spoon, you can just press them out. Another thing of water. So we're up to 3 now. But you see them starting to form, starting to pull together, starting to hold as a dough ball. As you squish with your spoon, you can see a dough starting to form. When you get to that stage, it's a good plan. Go back in with your hand, because you'll be able to feel how wet your mixture is. And you can then grip together all of your dough so that you get it into a ball. Work it well with your hands. You want that mixture to be as smooth and as well mixed as you possibly can. So work it really well with your hands to bring it all together, to make sure that cheese is all in there. And then all we're going to do, make a semi-sausage if you want, just roll it out. And this should make you sort of 6 to 8 dumplings. So then just pinch away at the end. So you get the sort of 6 dumplings, I think, in this one. And then just take them, roll them into balls, leave them on your board for later, because until that stew's cooked down, we haven't got anywhere to put them. So just leave them on the board, and then, folks, you've probably got about 15 minutes left where you can get your work surface cleaned down, you can make sure you're all tidy, ready for the next stage. So once you've rolled your dough balls, it's clear up time. And when I've done my clearing up, I'll see you back at this hob. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes, by which time that's going to have reduced nicely. Our dough balls are ready to go in, and off we go. See you soon, folks. And welcome back. Well, I've been doing some tidying up. I've done some washing up. I've cleared myself down, my board down, the cooking hob down, and my stew has been on for about 20-25 minutes, and I'm ready for the next stage. So, eyes down, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to bring in our oven-proof dish. Into that, we're just going to turn our hob off. Into that, we're going to move all of our beautiful sweet potato and bean stew with all those juices. Bring all of that in. Okay. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All of that out of the wok into there. Now, I've got my dumplings. So I need a little bit even on liquid. So I'm just going to give it a quick shake so that the liquid can get all the way through. I'm just going to take my dumplings and just gently push them down into the middle of my stew. And that is perfect. That is ready now to go in an oven at 180, gas mark 6, for about 15-20 minutes, or until my dough balls have puffed and started to go golden. So let's whack it in the oven. Come with me. So on a tray, because it makes it easier to get it in and out of my oven, and we're just going to put that one in. As I say, 180, gas mark 6, about 15-20 minutes, something like that, and you're going to have some beautiful puffed up dough ball dumplings with that lovely cheesy taste, a beautiful stew that's going to have thickened up and gone gooey. And I'm going to serve mine just with some little corn on the cob and a little bit of tender stem broccoli. Just any other little veg that colour complements your dish. When that's cooked, I'll see you back at the hob and we'll plate up. See you in a bit. And welcome back, folks. Well, our pie's been in the oven for about 20 minutes. The beautiful dumplings are getting that lovely crust on them, so it's time to dish up. So, let's see what we've got. Oh, warm. Oh, look at these. They've puffed, they've crusted. Eyes down on that one. Look at that. Right, shut the door to the oven. Now, whilst that's been in the oven, I've also cooked up some broccoli. I've cooked up a bit of tender stem broccoli, a bit of sweet corn, baby corn. So it's time to dish up. So, choose your implements, Si. Let's just get these dumplings, if we can. Just a little bit over there. Because you want your base to be that beautiful bean and sweet potato mixture. And this is, as we said, packed full of vital nutrients. It's got your protein, it's got your carbs. The veg going with it brings in a load more essential vitamins, minerals, nutrients. Good spoonful of that stew going on there. And then a couple of these beautiful dumplings. On the top. We'll have the one that we moved. Come on there. This is smelling awesome, folks. Quick clean up of the plate because we don't want it going out looking all dirty. Get that bit. Now I'm just going to top mine now, just with a little bit of sliced up chilli, just to add that extra little zing, and then just a couple of bits of beautiful coriander, just to cut through some of it. And as we said, finally, contrast that colour. Got a little bit of that baby sweet corn, a little bit of that tender stem broccoli. And that, folks, is a dinner to sizzle the taste buds, to give you all the nutrition, health, and everything else that you need. That is, I'm going to move this out of the way so you can get it right in the middle and see. That is our most beautiful chili sweet potato and bean stew with cheddar cheese dumplings, ready for your dinner tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed bringing this dish to you, and we can't wait for you to join us at UK Harvest on another cook-along mission. Take care, folks. Enjoy dinner. See you soon. Bye for now.